Good morning.
Time to get ready for your day with the morning warm-up with Trey Lyle. Join us live on VTRN Sports 93.3 FM or the VTRN Sports app. Open VTRN Sports on your smart speaker or stream live on YouTube. Time to get ready for your day with the morning warm-up with Trey Lyle and Ty Tracy.
Morning, everybody. 7:03 on this beautiful yet chilly January 20th. It is Monday. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. As I do a little prep. Not prep. I'm just getting some sound bites together because we're going to review the NFL. What a weekend. Divisional weekend. So, I don't know about you, Ty. People said all weekend that the divisional round is like their favorite football weekend, maybe because it's the 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday, and they typically are always good. And I was like, I never really put that 2 and 2 together because this was like the first time really like the ongoing conversation about divisional weekend being the best weekend in the NFL season happened. But you know what? I tend to believe that it is.
I mean, playoff is playoff. You know me, I'm just happy it's playoff time. I don't really care about which one's better. I'm just happy it's playoff season.
Well, the negative part is the fact that we are about to be over with football season. We have essentially, if you want to count college, 4 games, because I'm not counting the Pro Bowl. 4 games left of football.
I won't even say the Pro Bowl ain't the Pro Bowl anymore. But anyway, yeah, it's been a long, fun season and stuff, but everything has come to the end.
Look at you trying to be smooth with everything. All right, what'd you think? All right, so should we go backwards or should we go forwards with the game? So we could start in Kansas City, or we can end in Kansas City, or we can end. We should probably end in Washington. We'll end in DC.
Let's end in DC.
We'll end in DC. So we'll start with we'll do the AFC side. How about this? You know what? We'll do the AFC side, then we'll do the NFC side.
Okay, cool.
This is called we're making the sausage. A little inside baseball to start the show. Also, later on, do you want to touch on Liz Kitley? Do you want to touch on the national championship game tonight, which is happening, folks? So, what a weekend! What a quartet of games that we had, and starting with Chiefs 23, Texans 14. And I don't know about you, Ty. The game was close throughout, but just the fact that it felt like the way that Kansas City was dominating the line of scrimmage, especially on defense, it really felt, and the lack of weapons, because like Nico Collins got banged up in this game, and obviously no Tank Dell, no Stephon Diggs for Houston. I never felt worried about Kansas City. Did you? Did you at any point in that game feel like Texans might pull this off? Because I really didn't.
I feel like they could have put it off, but it just like a lot of things won't go their way. The offense still being inconsistent this whole season without Stephon Diggs and everything. So I feel like their offense was not consistent, and that was the biggest factor in that game.
Yeah, I mean, it was 9 sacks, I think, total. We're about to get to one, but ultimately, the moment where I think Kansas City sealed it was this play right here.
Inside the 12 of Houston, Kansas City 3rd and goal, leading by 1 fourth quarter. Mahomes in the gun, receivers in tight. He gets the knee-high shotgun snap. He's grabbed and he throws as he's being tackled, and it was caught in the end zone by Kelsey. What a grab by Kelsey, but what a play by Mahomes. 11-yard touchdown pass as he was being dragged from behind and threaded the needle, and there he found the belt buckle of Kelsey, who catches it 5 yards deep in the middle of the end zone. Touchdown, Chiefs.
The legendary Kevin Harlan. Westwood won on the call. The game you could have heard, all the games you could have heard on right here on VTR and Sports, but that call in particular, that was the play where he was essentially parallel to the ground and threw it 20 yards to I almost said Jared Goff to Travis Kelce, and it just proves to me the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. They're the reason. The reason I picked them is because I need to win the Super Bowl because I just need to see them get beat. Now we'll get to the team I had them playing in a second, and that was the Detroit Lions. It's just we're setting up a matchup, and we'll get to Buffalo in a second. But Mahomes, 16 of 25, 177 yards and a touchdown. Kelce, 7 for 117 and a touchdown. They didn't turn the ball over. They were efficient. They ran the ball okay. But, Kansas City dominated the two lines of scrimmage, it felt like, both on the offensive line and defensive line, despite the fact that, all the issues the Chiefs had. Like you think about it, and I know people want to complain about penalties and all, and yes, there were some awful calls in that game.
Beyond awful. It was
awful calls in that game.
It made me question about the refs that game, like what's going on out there, because you just can't throw flags like that at all, especially to a game.
Yeah,
that really ticked me off right there.
I think it was the first time a team outgained another team by 100 yards in the playoffs without committing a turnover.
Yeah.
And lost. But ultimately, the Chiefs make the small plays perfection, whether it's making field goals, they missed 2, but ultimately this 2-play sequence is what led to the Chiefs winning. So first, it was a third down. Stroud with the ball. They're down. It's 23-12 at the time.
Now with the Chiefs 13. Third down and 10. Stroud today 19 to 28, 245. Sacked 7 times. Ogunbowale is the back. Chiefs 13, third and 10, shotgun formation. He gets the snap. They rush 5. He moves up, grabbed and sacked for an 8th time. Karlaftis gets him again. Back at the 17.
So George Karlaftis gets 3 sacks in this one, and it leads to a field goal attempt. This would have made it 23-15 with some time left in order for Houston, to get back in it. So the field goal attempt was blocked, spoiler alert, with about 2 minutes left, just under the 2-minute warning. And
here comes Fairbairn trying a 35-yard Houston field goal with 1:52 to go to cut into that Chiefs lead. Into the wind. Snap is good. Ball down. Kick is blocked. The kick is blocked. It goes to the sideline where it's picked up by Hicks and he runs out of bounds. The Chiefs have done it again. Reed blocked the kick. The Chiefs have done it again.
Kevin Harlan is saying it right. The Chiefs have done it again. And then, of course, they had a safety with Matt Ariza because they knew the line and they were like, we're not going to cover. So Houston is able to cover the 9.5 point spread because of that safety. And Ty, we'll talk AFC and NFC title game all week. But it's weird to say. My one takeaway is the Chiefs are the Chiefs.
They just find a way to win. I don't know how. That's the funny. They just find a way to win.
And I guess they're going to start being compared to the Pats dynasty, and that's the same thing that the Pats did, man. Early in the Pats, it was defense and special teams. Later on, they used more, Brady as he got older, or I don't want to say older.
Got more years. He got more years.
He got, he became more of an efficient passer, and their offense got better. But, Kansas City kind of has done the reverse. It first started with their offense. And the big plays with Tyreek, like that first Super Bowl, is because of their offense. They had, that wasp play and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce that was more in his prime. And they had a really good offense.
Mm-hmm.
And now as it's gotten more developed, they've changed their defensive and special teams team. And they also just have the greatest quarterback maybe we've ever seen, who basically is asked to stay on time, stay efficient, but then also makes, the one-on-one plays. Like, it's just so dynamic in terms of how great this dynasty is being. And they're on the verge. They're 2 games away. 2 games they'll probably be favored in. I know this Buffalo game is going to be like between 1 and 2 points, but 2 games they'll be favored in. I think if you look at the books, I think the Eagles are actually the Super Bowl favorites right now, but Kansas City is second. I would probably flip that, but that's just me. If they pull off the three-peat, ironically, the guy who's going to be in the booth calling that Super Bowl might not be able to call himself the GOAT much longer. And that's it. And we'll talk about the other 2 quarterback narratives coming out of this. I think the AFC, that's all it was about, is quarterback narratives. Like Stroud, there was no real narrative with him. I think he has maximized his first 2 years in the NFL. And I think if you're a Washington fan, you're basically hoping for the same kind of trajectory, which I think I heard a lot of Mahomes comparisons for Jaden Daniels, and we'll get to him. I think Stroud is a better comparison just because Stroud took a team with no expectations to the playoffs in year 1, won a playoff game. And then Daniels took a team with no expectations to the playoffs, won a playoff game, 1-2, obviously. We'll get to that game. And Jared Goff has to ruin my life. Just want to point that again, but that's a different point.
Gosh darn it, Jared Goff.
Right? But we'll get to that game. But yeah, so moving to what was hyped up as the game of the week, which it was a really good football game. Bills 27, Ravens 25. And in that first half, the Lamar narrative was there. The Lamar playoff narrative was there. The bad interception of Bateman, the bad fumble, and you think about it, it led to 2 scores. And in that first half, Josh Allen just made 2 plays. First this touchdown.
Allen is going to line up under center. Gilliam is right behind him. Play clock down to 2. Now at 1. Allen takes the snap, drives ahead into the end zone. Touchdown Bills. A 1-yard touchdown run for Josh Allen, and Buffalo has taken the lead. 8:49 to go in the second quarter. 13-7 Bills. They capitalize on the Jackson fumble.
And that's what we talked about at the top. What's going to be the difference in the games? What's going to change field position? 2 turnovers now. Buffalo turns that turnover into potentially 7.
And that was after I would argue the fumble was the worst play than the interception, because if you watch the interception back, it's more of a miscommunication. Still a bad decision by Lamar, but Bateman cuts off his route. Lamar throws it deep, and only Taylor Rapp for the Bills is there. Like, that fumble was Lamar just trying to make a play where you just got beat by a DeMar Hamlin safety blitz, and you should have just kind of ate it. Or if you're going to throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
And he made a really bad play in bad conditions because the snow of the ball gets wet, and it was just a bad play. And then I think the best drive for the Bills used their run game very effectively. And this was the moment where I was like, oh, the narrative is going to change with Lamar, or is going to sustain with Lamar in the playoff narrative. Because when the Bills went up 21-10 off this play from Josh Allen, it looked like, oh boy, could the Bills rout them?
Ball in between the hash marks of the 4-yard line. 3rd down and 2. Allen will line up in the shotgun. Ty Johnson is the running back to his right. Khalil Shakir is just in front of him in the backfield. Coleman splits out wide left. Allen waits, gets the snap. Allen keeps it up the middle, powering to the goal line, into the end zone. Touchdown Bills. The second touchdown run of the first half for Allen. This one from 4 yards out. And with 16 seconds to go before intermission, the Bills lead 20-10.
So you would think if Josh Allen went 16 of 22 for 127, no touchdowns, no sacks, they'd be like, oh, the Bills must have lost. But they didn't, because the Bills had, as a team, 36 carries for 147 yards at 4.1 a clip. And it's like 4.1 is not that much. Well, if you do 4.1 plus 4.1 plus 4.1 every 3 plays, Ty, do you know what that equals? 12.3 yards.
Give me time.
Do you know what that means? That's a first down.
That's automatically first down, regardless.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, if you average 4 yards a carry, that's still halfway to the distance to the sticks, like what people don't realize.
And another thing, Buffalo controlled the time of possession.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie, James Cook has been running the ball really effectively this whole season and stuff. And he really surprised me. Instead of being like a utility back, he'd be like a power back that's running straight downhill.
The Bills, okay, I want to preface this, and like the Bills probably have the second best offensive line in the NFL behind Philadelphia, and the Bills and Philadelphia are very similar in terms of they just want to control the line of scrimmage, and that's what they did. That's what they try to do in this game. All right, moving to the second half, Bills don't move the ball as well. The Ravens are starting to make the comeback, and here it is. All right, 3:23 left. Ball's at the Baltimore 22, but there was a holding penalty, so it moved it to the 12. Lamar Jackson, and I tweeted it at Trey Lyle VT. Legacy drive coming. It was the moment. It was the moment that if you're Lamar Jackson, you asked for. Like, we'll get to I think I figured out if we want to compare these top three AFC quarterbacks, like to the past era of the AFC quarterbacks, I think I have figured it out. And here it is. And he does it to his credit. And it leads to this.
Jackson lines up in the shotgun, looks to his left, brings Likely in motion, takes the snap, back to pass, plenty of time again, looking. Jackson now rolling to his right, still looking down the field, fires deep for the end zone, it is caught, a diving catch in the end zone by Likely. Isaiah Likely skidding across the end zone, hauls it in, and with 1:33 to go, it's a 2-point game. A 24-yard touchdown to Likely, and now the Ravens have a chance to tie.
And this drive was after the Bills were only able to kick a field goal after a fumble by Mark Andrews. I bring up Mark Andrews because ultimately you got to feel for the guy after this. Go ahead.
It was 2 critical plays that mattered the most. The first fumble that could have, like, they was marching downfield. They was going to start scoring that one.
And that was when it was 24-19. So
yes.
If they scored a touchdown, they would have taken the lead.
Yes. And then the 2-point conversion that you definitely needed on that one, that was just a perfect play call.
Yeah, well, and we're going to get to that in 1 second. But yeah. Bernard made a great play to force the fumble and recover it. So it's now 27-25, minute 33 left, and this is what happens in the 2-point conversion.
Henry is back in the game. He lines up to the right of Jackson, who's in the gun. 2 receivers right, 1 left. 2-pointer ties the game. Here's the snap. Jackson will run to his right. He looks, he throws. It is dropped. It is dropped. Andrews was open at the pylon and dropped it. His second drop of the game, and the Bills maintain a 2-point lead, 27-25. Andrews was open. The ball hit him in the chest, and he could not hang on going to the ground.
Yeah, so they ran sprint right option, essentially, and Andrews was open. Lamar, I think it was not, like, if Lamar probably would tell you he would want it back and throw it more at his chest, but it was off by, like, 2 feet. Like, it wasn't like it was this very impossible catch. Andrews should have made that grab. You have to feel for him. He essentially made the 2 plays that cost them in the second half, and this leads to the Lamar Jackson narrative. Now, does he win MVP? We'll find out in a week. It's him or Josh Allen. which now I'm going to feel really bad for him because the discourse is going to be really bad if he does over Josh Allen. Because
Well, they can't say that game was on him.
can I?
I'm sorry, but I'm just saying you can't say the game was on him.
But you can. Let me preface. So it's starting to become clear that the quote unquote Peyton Manning of this era is Lamar Jackson, the Tom Brady. Not the same style of quarterback.
I know, but I don't know about that. But I will let you finish on that one.
In terms of the regular season success not matching the playoff success, that is Lamar has not there has not been a great Lamar Jackson playoff game yet.
I mean, last night, I could say like, okay, he really had a good game. It just
he had a good second half. He did not have a good first half.
Yeah,
he was awful. Here's the thing. You're right. He was great in the second half, but you have to preface this. Why was the Ravens in the hole down 21-10 at half?
It was just the early turnovers.
Yes.
Either way,
that's what cost them.
He still brought them back. That's why
I understand that, but you don't have to bring them back if you don't put yourself in that spot. The same reason Jared Goff was in a hole, unfortunately for the Lions.
Jared Goff was he was just digging himself in that hole
all game. But Lamar put them in it's a fair narrative to say Lamar does not play to the same level in the playoffs. And granted, that was a cold game. It was in the snow, but that first half it's a cause and effect. It was the cause of the effect of how much he had to press at the end. So yes, Lamar was great for the most part, but those two big turnovers, you wipe them away.
They'll probably win the game, probably like a touchdown.
They win the game.
Yeah.
So it costs them the game. Like the Andrews drop is the singular play, but let's be real here.
It was just more. I think it was more the fumble.
Yes.
That was the main. That was the main factor. It was that fumble was the main one.
Here's the thing. The Bills would here. This is also another reason. The Bills would have gotten the ball with 1:33 left. I think they would have had 2 timeouts. There was zero doubt in my mind Josh Allen was going to just drive him down the field and kick a field goal. I know the Ravens defense is great, but Josh Allen would have been like, all right, let me put the cape on. And he would have, that's the other thing. I have confidence in Josh. I have that because Josh Allen has done it. The difference between those two quarterbacks is I have seen Josh Allen play awesome in the playoffs and just lose. Typically, 99 out of 100 times, for example, you give your team you give your defense 13 seconds left to stop a team. There have been countless games where in the playoffs, especially against the team they're going to play in the AFC Championship game, where Josh Allen gives them the lead, the defense costs it up. Whereas here, the defense played just as well as they needed, but the Ravens got in their own way. Lamar made those mistakes in the first half. They got them in the hole. Yes, he made up for it. And I don't necessarily put this game on Lamar, but I don't think it does anything to help his narrative in terms of him being a bad playoff performer. I think that's fair to say. Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah.
This game, this singular game, if you want to make blame pie, he gets 20% of it because of his first 2 halves, and Mark Andrews might get 25% of it. But it doesn't help. It's not like you can come from this and say Lamar is a good playoff performer. You can't say that. You just can't. You had to win the game.
I mean, he had to win the game, but I think the second half he really made it up and put them in the perfect position. It's just Mark Andrews
dropped the ball.
Yeah, dropped the ball on them. It was a fumble. That's the 2 main things that really stood out. That's it. And you can't say that it was on Lamar because they was really clicking and everything.
So we're agreeing on this singular game. If you could take a vacuum and look at this game in particular, then yes, this game I don't think is fully on Lamar Jackson. However, when you add, this is the NFL. This is what we're doing here. You take in all the context of this Ravens team. I think there was some stat the Ravens have won 71 games in the last 5 years or whatever, and like every team that has done something like that has won a Super Bowl, and the Ravens are not even going to be in the Super Bowl. Like, you take in the AFC Championship game last year, you take in when the 1 seed and they lost to Tennessee. He still hasn't shown up in the playoffs. He still hasn't. You're facing a quarterback in Josh Allen who has the best touchdown to interception ratio in NFL history when it comes to the playoffs. You're facing Mahomes, who is well on his way to be the greatest of all time. And I make the Peyton Manning comparison because Peyton Manning was in the same spot before he turned 30. And granted, if you're Lamar and you're being compared to Peyton Manning, awesome. Like, Peyton Manning, maybe the greatest. Like, if you needed a quarterback for one game, is maybe the best choice. Like, he might be the best person to ever play the position of quarterback in the history of football is Peyton Manning. Just the way he was cerebral, the way he could throw it, like everything to go with it.
He was just the offensive coordinator.
Like, yes, at quarterback that could throw anything. But again, that first half was awful. It was his worst. Like, Lamar probably played his worst half of the season in that first half, and it showed.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. All right, we got to go to break. We're going to talk about the NFC, and don't worry, I know Ed's listening. I am not delaying the Washington Commanders conversation. I just figured I'd save it to last. So when we come back, the NFC side of things, reacting to the NFL Divisional Round. This is the morning warm-up with Trey, Lyle, and Ty Tracy.
A short drive will save you money.
Car buying is simple at Feller Chevrolet. You can buy online or at the store. It's quick, easy, and a clean, safe environment. We have non-commissioned salespeople and a 3-day money-back guarantee so you can buy with confidence. Feller's is also here after the sale. We can do warranty work on all GM cars, not just Chevrolets, and our techs can service all makes and models. No matter what your automotive needs, I promise we can deliver. So come see us. You'll be glad you did.
Feller Chevrolet in Alta Vista.
We're here with Colt from We Fix Stupid Computers. Colt, to go along with your residential or individual walk-in services that you offer, you also do a lot of business IT support. How about you discuss that, and what specifically do you do to help businesses in the area?
We see a lot of that. Small to medium-sized businesses, they still have their IT projects. They still need resources to help them within their office and for remote users. And so we'll step in and fill in the gap where we do a lot of projects for them, help them manage their resources, their budgets, and get their technology under control.
Colt, how can these people reach out to you to assess their IT needs?
Call us. Our number is 434-525-8590. Our website, wefixstupidcomputers.com. We're on Facebook. And our office is here locally, 14690 Forest Road, right next to Scott's Cabinet on 221.
When shopping for auto liability insurance, it's wise to consider the best policy, not the cheapest. Hi, I'm Randy Trost with Trost Law. It's crucial to have more than the minimum insurance on your auto liability policy. This protects you if you injure someone or if someone without proper insurance hurts you. Having the right policy ensures you have sufficient underinsured coverage to take care of you and your family. To learn more how we can help you navigate these challenges, visit us at trostlaw.com. That's trostlaw.com.
Real soul food. You feel the warmth from the first bite to the last? That feeling comes to life at the Yard on 5th Street. Staples like fried catfish sandwich and platter, smoked wings, pulled pork, and Philly brisket sandwich, just like a cheesesteak, except with smoked briskets. Come feel the warmth in every bit of Lynchburg's best soul food. The Yard on 5th Street in downtown Lynchburg.
Good morning. We are just getting your day started here on VTRN Sports with the morning warm-up. Stay connected at Trey Lyle VT and Ty Tracy 90 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Listen wherever you are with the VTRN Sports app or watch the show live on YouTube at youtube.com/VTRN Sports Lynchburg. Now, back to the morning warm-up.
7:33 a.m. here on the morning warm-up. Trey Lyle, Ty Tracy. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're listening on VTRN Sports, whether on the radio, 93.3, 1320 AM, on the VTRN Sports app, or open VTRN Sports on your smart speaker, or on our stream, youtube.com/@VTRN Sports Lynchburg, or Facebook at VTRN Sports. So, yes, if you were watching on the stream, that those are our very beautiful faces. In first segment today, we went over the AFC matchups. We kind of started to dive into the Lamar talk, which I honestly hate, because go back to the Peyton Manning thing. Well, he had to go against Tom Brady every year, and Tom Brady is Tom Brady, and he had to go against Bill Belichick every year. That's really hard. Everyone loses to them. And then you look at Peyton Manning, and then you look at Lamar. Well, he has to go against either Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. And it's like, that's really hard too. So it's whatever. It's part of this. It's winning a championship. But I was gonna say, and I know we're getting off track. We want to talk the NFC teams. I was gonna say, I think it's kind of clear. The big Ben of this era is gonna be Josh Allen, big guy on a good team, probably wins 1 or 2 Super Bowls. The Tom Brady's clearly Mahomes, and then because Big Ben never won an MVP. Josh Allen might not win an MVP. And obviously the Brady is Mahomes. I feel like that's a fair comparison. Then
I was like, we can talk about this, but I was like, please don't leave Joe Burrow out, because I'm getting tired of disrespect. I'm getting tired of people disrespecting Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow might be the Phillip Rivers at this rate.
No, definitely not. Stop it. No,
of this era.
Not this era. No, definitely. He's definitely nowhere compared to Phil Rivers.
No, he's not. No, I meant in terms of like he's a really good quarterback, but like he doesn't win.
Trust me, he can win.
Yeah, but look, this year.
It's not his fault. Everybody makes it seem like it's his
I don't.
fault.
I was just messing with you.
I know. I defend Joe Burrow. You know that.
Burrow is Joe. I think Joe Burrow is like the clear 4th. Like I think you have to put those. Yeah, he's 4.
We're gonna have to talk about this another time on this one.
Well, that's an off-season topic.
Yeah,
all right, let's move to the NFC.
Conversation on that one.
All right, starting with the Philadelphia Eagles. They defeat the Los Angeles Rams again. Barely cover to the Rams because of a last-second touchdown. 28-22, mainly because of 2 missed extra points by Jake Elliott. Stafford, 26 of 44, 324, 2 touchdowns in the snow. Kyron Williams, 19 carries, 106. Puka with a ridiculous grab late, 6 for 97. Jalen Hurts, I think, was better than his stat line, but also made some really dumb plays in it. Really dumb plays. 15 to 22, 128, but he also had 7 carries for 70 yards. So 200 total yards of offense with no turnovers is, I think, pretty solid. But we're going to get to the guy. I mean, he did this against the Rams, which I think I played that clip from that game. And he did it twice. So the last time the Eagles played in a major snow game, it was ironically against a quarterback team by Matthew Stafford, and they had a running back who won the rushing title that year. And he set the franchise record for rushing yards in that game. Well, guess what Saquon did? Well, last time I get the Rams, he broke that record, but here was the first big run from Saquon.
And now the snow is starting to fall again, with the wind taking it from left to right. A minute 16 to play in the first. 3rd down and 4. It's a handoff, open lane. Barkley explodes. Barkley down the right sideline. Will anybody catch him? No! Touchdown! Saquon Barkley, electrified. 62 yards to the house. Eagles regain the lead.
So after an exchange of field goals to make it 13-13, Philadelphia gets another field goal to make it 16-13. Jalen Hurts he cost the Eagles 8 points in that game. 2 dumb sacks where they were in field goal range,
Mm-hmm.
and this safety might have been the worst sack I've seen a quarterback take. I don't know about you, but I was screaming at my television. You have Dallas Goedert wide open. If you go to my Twitter at TreyLyleVT, I retweeted Ben Solak, who works for ESPN. He like screenshotted the moment right before where the pocket was clean and Dallas Goedert's right in front of him, wide open. Like I could have made that throw. He was that open. And I get that was like right after he hurt his knee and a lot of things, but Jalen, you're going to have to make that play. And it results in a safety, makes it 16-15, but
Plus, you got to think about the Rams' D-line has been really good.
They were really good. Jared Verse talked a lot of smack, but he played really well yesterday.
They've been good since the playoffs started.
The Rams are a young defensive line. They looked pretty good against Philadelphia. I don't think the offensive line is good. It's kind of hard to say. Like maybe the snow just affected them a little bit, like in terms of traction, and they couldn't block as well. I'm assuming they're not going to get those conditions again.
And they was getting like a lot of stunts as well.
Yes. So I think it was just harder to pass block, and then ultimately, Philadelphia's defense comes up big. They basically caused back-to-back fumbles. It was a Kyron Williams fumble that led to a field goal, then a strip sack which was punched out by Jalen Carter, then a strip sack by Nolan Smith that led to a field goal, made it 22-15. Philadelphia gets a stop. Then it leads to what we think is the play that would ice it.
22-yard line. That's where Philadelphia opens up. Handoff. It's Barkley running to the left. Barkley gets by everybody. Saquon Barkley is gone. Touchdown. On a snowy Sunday, Saquon Barkley has dominated for the Eagles. 28-15, Philly. He is at another level. 78 yards.
78 yards, and he didn't say that he said watch this before, but the camera was so close. It looked like he said watch this right to Jalen Hurts before he scored on that play. So my crazy thing is 26 carries for 205 yards and 2 touchdowns. And that was his second best performance this season against the Rams, where he ran for 255. So Saquon Barkley has run for 460 yards against the Rams this season, which is ridiculous. It makes, here's the thing, the difference between these previous Philadelphia teams and others is Saquon Barkley is such a good runner with the football that Philadelphia always were churning out with your Miles Sanders and your DeAndre Swifts, like 10, 15-yard carries because they would block it up so well. Saquon Barkley is one of the few running backs in the NFL. I throw Derrick Henry in there. I throw CMC when he's healthy. That takes a 15-yard run and makes it a 76-yard touchdown.
Yeah, it's a difference between them.
That's what makes Saquon Barkley. And this shows, like, if he was with think about, it just shows the Giants screwed him so much with a bad offensive line. But Philadelphia does enough, and it appears they're going to win. But then, I don't know about you, Ty, I was getting flashbacks to the Atlanta game and the Washington game, because essentially Matthew Stafford, who is still really, 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 really good, goes down on a 10-play, 70-yard drive in a minute 48 to score, make it 28-22 because Jake Elliott misses the extra point, which his 2 misses could have been big. Philadelphia runs only 3 plays in 25 seconds because of timeouts, including a play where Philadelphia, which got a little too cute, they try to run another bootleg with Jalen.
Yeah.
They should have just ran it with Saquon. But then Rams get the ball. They make the big play in it was a huge pass to Puka Nacua for 37 yards where he just goes up and gets it over Darius Slay. I think Slay had really good coverage. Puka, who is still really good.
It's just Matthew Stafford.
I'm acting like Puka's old. Puka's been what? This is his 3rd year in the league, 2nd year in the league.
I think the 2nd year.
2nd year in the league, and I'm acting like, because Puka, I give him credit. The kid who grew up in Nevada, was playing well in the snow. But Jalen Carter called game. Man, he had a big sack on third down, and then he affected this final play, and that ultimately got Philadelphia to the NFC Championship game.
52 seconds left. Back it up to the 21, a loss of 8. The Rams are not in a hurry here. They recognize that the game hinges on this play. We're down to 38 seconds left. Rams break the huddle. 4th down and 11. Stafford takes the snap. Looking. Stafford throws to the right side. It's incomplete. Philadelphia's going to hold on. Intended for Nakua. The celebration starts in the city of brotherly love.
So, I don't know about you, Ty. And we're going to bring our fandom into this. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm wearing a Philadelphia Eagles polo right now. I was wearing my Kelly Green quarter zip. After Puka made that catch, that ridiculous catch, I may or may not have thrown my phone into my chair and yelled, the Eagles are going to lose, with maybe some other words I can't say on the radio. I felt like it was playing.
I can say this. You probably need a cuss button.
Philadelphia.
So,
well, I know how to control myself in these
I know,
settings.
but I was like a cuss button, like beep, beep.
Well, we do have one. Ed has it. I have to find it. He has it on the.
Not one.
No, that's not it. He has it. There it is. He has it there, but it's just, man, Philadelphia was about to lose like this third time, the same exact way. Same way.
I wasn't nervous about it all during that final drive. I knew like it's no way
if you took out Atlanta and Washington, like here's the thing, and I'm gonna preface. All right, I won't say better quarterback, but Stafford is a more proven quarterback. Like if I had to rank the quarterbacks in the NFC, I'm probably still putting Stafford 1 because the guy's done it longer than Jaden Daniels, and he's won a Super Bowl. And I don't think I'm like, the guy who is quote unquote disrespected Jaden Daniels all year by saying Matthew Stafford is a better quarterback than him.
But I was surprised when that final drive they didn't go to the other side instead of just going to Darius Slay.
Yeah, with the injuries, which
that's what
Quinyon Mitchell, Isaiah Rodgers.
That would surprise me about that on that final drive.
I think he just trusted Puka the most. Like you look at Cooper Kupp for whatever reason faded down the late of the season, which as someone who had him on his fantasy team really hurt me because I could have won the front stretch league if he just like actually showed up to a couple of games.
Feel like he was in 2020 or 2021.
I know, right? Like, I had the Lamar side. I had Lamar, Derrick Henry as the combo. They carried me all year, and I just need Cooper Kupp to get a couple more. Whatever. I'm still hurt by that, but it was more of, I think, again, and I think we said this last week. Scheme Jim and Joe's are better than X's and O's. For Philadelphia, that is what has gotten them to this point. I think from an X and O's standpoint, they have not been great. Kellen Moore has been I think Nick Sirianni is now a better football coach than what people give him credit for.
Yeah.
Because he's been to the playoffs 4 times and now has been to 2 NFC championship games.
Mm-hmm.
And if assuming they win because they're the favorite, he'll be to 2 Super Bowls. And his one he lost to, his quarterback was awesome. He played great. It's just a freaky fumble happened that ultimately was the difference in the game between Kansas City and Philadelphia in that Super Bowl. And then, so again, a side point. But Philadelphia has more Jimmy and Joe's better than maybe anyone who's left. Like Jalen Carter could be the best player in football. Like with his talent, he could be the best player in football.
I'll say Jalen Carter, but Nolan Smith really made a difference as well. He made a big factor against him.
If you watched any college football, like those 2 really good Georgia defenses, and all the good players are on the Philadelphia Eagles.
All 3 of them. It's like they really made them 2 really made a huge
Jalen
difference
Carter,
in
Darius
that game.
Slay, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper, like the Eagles defense is really good, and that's what made the plays at the end. And ultimately, Philadelphia moves on. It wasn't pretty. It's it's honestly
like
not.
they got the turnover. We got the points, but it won't know 7 points. It was more 3 points. We took the 3 points. We had no choice.
It was a snow game. I still trust Jake Elliott. He hit the 2 clutch kicks, so we'll see. He just needs to make some extra points. All right. Washington, Detroit. All right. Ty, I don't know about you. 45-31. Jaden Daniels, 22-31, 299, 2 touchdowns. He was great. He was awesome. I will say this. 59 of this yards came on this play.
Aaron Glenn, since they lost Aiden Hutchinson in week 6, the defensive coordinator has blitzed a lot more. 38% blitz on the year. That's third most in the league. Eckler in the backfield now to the left of Daniels. First down and 10 at the 41. They'll swing the pass out to the left side. It's McLaurin. Breaks 2 tackles down the left sideline to the 40. McLaurin motoring to the 30. Inside the 20. Still on his feet at the 10. And he'll dive into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Terry McLaurin takes it 59 yards, and the Commanders are back on top, 16-14.
So they go up 17-14 in the 40. It was 42 points in the second quarter. But Terry, Detroit, I think if we want to summarize this game, it was, I don't want to say narrow path to victory, even though I am wrong. I will admit I was wrong on how this game would win. I said Detroit would blow them out. But I felt like Washington had a very, I don't want to say narrow path to victory, but kind of one clear way. The injuries finally catch up to Detroit, and Jared Goff sucks. And guess what? Was it that first play of the game, the Detroit corner who was really good against Justin Jefferson, had to go to the hospital, and they're now down another DB, and their tackling was bad. If you go, that was a McLaurin screen pass, and he easily broke 2 tackles, and then he's gone. And ultimately, Jaden Daniels, the biggest stat from Jaden Daniels is he did not turn the ball over. He could have put up, because that ultimately was the difference in this game. He was 22-31, 299, 2 touchdowns, and he threw. His best play might have been that throw to De'Ami Brown, which was an absolute dot.
Yeah,
it was perfect. So, but it led to ultimately this play from, just Jared Goff, man, you were so bad. 23 of 40, 313, but the three INTs, including these final 2.
So second and 14 at the 18 of Detroit. 17-14 lead for Washington. Late in the second quarter. Reynolds in motion on the right side of the line to the slot right. And a shotgun snap to Goff out of an empty backfield, looking left all the way, throws it left, a wobbler, and it's intercepted. Picked off, and down the sideline goes Quan Martin. Breaks a tackle at the 10. Martin inside the 5. He's going to take it all the way for a Washington touchdown. Third down and 10 at the 17. Goff will throw over the middle, and it's intercepted. Jeremy Chin will slide down at the 8 and slide into the NFC Championship game with the Commanders.
He also had a 4th interception, which was a interception by Jamison Williams on a trick play, which, it was probably the bad time to call it, but it was a play where
it was just common sense, just throw away.
Yeah, I think it was more of a mistake by Jamison Williams, because I think Detroit's been running those all year, and they've mostly worked. And you probably don't call that play, but the pass they threw to that David Montgomery threw, which was like a pitch and then a shovel pass, which was insane.
I've never seen that play before.
I guess Ben Johnson's going to be the Raiders coach, so we'll see. Tom Brady got an up close and personal view with that, but I think Washington played really well, and Detroit handed them that game. Ultimately, defense injuries caught up, and Jared Goff was just so bad. So I give Washington a lot of credit. They're heading to the NFC Championship game. I am giving Jaden Daniels a lot of credit. He's exceeded my expectations and then some. I'm just not going to change my mind yet about. I still, if you redid the draft, I'm still taking Caleb Williams, but that's because it's only been one season.
I will say,
give me time. It
is one season. We'll say something about next season.
We have seen countless times in the NFL where you fall like, ladies and gentlemen, Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate at one point. Okay, like these happen in the NFL. Just let's give it time. He might lose his OC to Dallas or to Chicago. Like, give it time. That's all I'm going to say to a certain trolling Ed Lane who likes to troll me about this. I'm not in denial. I'm in give it time. All right, when we come back, a note about Liz Kitley, and we'll pick the national championship. This is the morning warm-up on VTRN Sports.
Are you already done with winter? At Aquatrek Adventures, we can help you escape. Scuba classes are forming right now. We can have you ready for warm, picture-perfect beaches, clear tropical water, and blue skies in sunny Florida, Cozumel, the Cayman Islands, or even Fiji once you complete your certification. Take that first step. Call Aquatrek Adventures on Mill Lane in Salem and visit our website at aquatrekadventures.com.
Everyone wants to save money on their next car purchase, right? Well, listen up, because I have a way for you to save thousands. Right now, Volkswagen is offering 0% for up to 60 months on a new VW Tiguan with approved credit. Do you realize when you compare a 6.9% rate on $30,000, it can save you $5,730? Now, that's an opportunity you don't want to miss. Come by Terry Volkswagen today, before this deal is gone, and take a spin in this amazing SUV. Terry Volkswagen. You'll love our cars.
Experience the charm of the Dan River District at Ballad Brewing. Join us for weekly events from our 5,000 square foot tap room. Fun like trivia, bingo, and live music plus 20 taps. And visit Ballad Brewing on Facebook for updated info like special events. At Three Roads Brewing, we're a fabric of historic downtown Lynchburg. We brew community. Each month, Three Roads Brewing partners with a local nonprofit. Enjoy weekly events like trivia, bingo, and live music while sipping from one of our 20 taps. All to join Three Roads Brewing and supporting Lynchburg.
Sandstone architecture, melodic music, wonders of the world. They're staples of Egyptian and Mediterranean culture. But you don't have to travel thousands of miles to experience it. Just drive to downtown Cairo. Located in the Grays Mill Center in Forest, downtown Cairo brings you food from the entire Mediterranean, blended with the best Egyptian recipes. This means fresh ingredients cooked on a charcoal grill, staples like $5 heroes, and build your own Mediterranean bowl. Experience the taste of Egyptian and Mediterranean world in your own backyard. Downtown Cairo, Grays Mill Shopping Center in Forest.
Good morning. We are just getting your day started here on VTRN Sports with the morning warm-up. Stay connected with the show at Trey Lyle VT and Ty Tracy 90 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Listen wherever you are with the VTRN Sports app, or watch the show live on YouTube at youtube.com/VTRN Sports Lynchburg. Now, back to the morning warm-up.
So last afternoon, Hokies got a big win on in college women's college basketball, defeating Louisville 70-65. Louisville, one of the top teams in the ACC record-wise, but more importantly, it was Liz Kitley night, the greatest female basketball player, maybe the greatest basketball player conversation in the history of Virginia Tech basketball, 3-time ACC Player of the Year. I went over the stats last week, but the coolest moment of this, after she got her jersey retired, she stayed for 2 hours after the game signing autographs. So shout out to Liz Kitley. She didn't have to do that. You could tell she loved being here. She loved this program. I know she was signing autographs before the game as well. So well deserved. I mean, she's so good. The fact that they accomplished so much as a team, going into the Final Four. Yeah, it was nice and easy. So the fact how it ended so tragically with her torn ACL, and hopefully she gets to play for the Aces this year. All right, quick pick at Ty. Ohio State 8.5-point favorite against Notre Dame. Who you got?
Gosh, I want to go with Ohio State, but I feel like something about to happen. So I might lean towards Notre Dame. They probably win by a field
So
goal.
you think not just they cover the 8.5, they win?
I feel like they might put it off.
Unfortunately, I hate this. I hate saying this. My girlfriend's going to hate me. Paul is going to hate me. I'm laying them with the Buckeyes. I don't blame you. I hope I'm wrong.
But I just feel like something's about to happen now.
I think the injuries for Notre Dame on the offensive line just are too much. and they do it, man. Ryan Day, congrats, man.
But they've been playing.
I give you
great.
a lot of credit. I give Ryan Day and this team a lot of credit coming off that
turn
Michigan
around.
game.
They
Turn
turned
it
around.
It's going to be ironic. The first 4-team champion was Ohio State. They kind of they got in a weird way, and with the Cardell stuff, and now this Ohio State team is heading to is going to win the national championship, or I'm assuming because I'm picking them in a weird way in the first 12-team playoff. So maybe when this goes to 14 in 2026, you have to pick Ohio State. Just spoiler alert there. Fun week ahead. We'll talk a lot of Hokies. We'll talk some Who's. They got some tough losses on the hardwood this week. Liberty got a big win this past Saturday in conference play. We'll preview, of course, a lot of the NFL playoffs, the 2 championship games. We'll talk about that. Fun week in store, Ty. I mean, football's winding down. We're about to talk basketball. A lot more college hoops, probably a little bit NBA, but we'll every morning here.
Next month starts baseball.
Pitchers and catchers report before you know it. The Dodgers got another big time player and a big time closer. Pretends to be shocked. All right, that will do it for today on the morning warm up. Bet the book is buy the book. Is next right here on VTRN Sports. Trey Lyle here at Trey Lyle VT. Connect with us at Ty Tracy 90. Thanks so much for listening to the morning warm up on VTRN Sports.